So joining me now is Chris Deacy, the presenter of the Kent Film Club. Chris, thanks for joining me on a day that we've had lots of storms, some crazy weather that's felt a bit like we're in a film ourselves. So I wanted to ask you, what's your favourite film where the weather is quite a prominent, almost a character in itself in the film?
Actually, that's a really good question, because the film that comes to mind is The Perfect Storm, which I think is Wolfgang Petersen, who made In Line of Fire and Outbreak. So big sort of disaster movies. They were so popular in the 1990s. But yeah, making the weather a character in the film. So everyone, of course, is retreating inside. But even things like Independence Day, they use the same kind of tropes. Sort of, you know, the world's under siege, but we have to find some way to take cover. But you're right, actually today, even coming here, you know, it felt like I was in a movie sometimes, sort of not quite sure whether, you know, the weather was going to allow me to actually come in. So we could make a film out of this.
We could, couldn't we? You're going to be seeing a film this evening, I believe. What are you seeing tonight?
I'm seeing, not for the first time, Cat Person, which was the best film I thought at the Sundance Film Festival when I was there in Utah earlier this year. And it's a hybrid, because I know every week we kind of talk about horror, but it is a horror but rom-com at the same time, sort of like dating horror. So it's a great hybrid of different genres. And it does work, but it sort of has two different demographics, two different constituencies of people, and it sort of throws them all into one, I think quite successfully, but it's great to see that it's actually made it to the multiplex.
And there are some people that can't rewatch a film, but you're doing that tonight. Do you not ever sort of get bored of rewatching films? Are there certain films that you can rewatch, certain films that you would never want to rewatch?
You see, there are some films that, you know, even watching it the first time, you're thinking, this is awful. But often when you then find that people are saying, hang on a minute, you've misrepresented it, or you read the critics' reviews, sometimes I will go back. And even when I'm writing a review after a film, I sometimes think there's more in this than I perhaps realised first time round.
And it's the start of November, which for many people is the mark of Christmas. Might be too early. Is it too early to start watching Christmas films?
Well, as I was saying this last week, because I think that as somebody who does watch, and you know, I'm on the record of saying this, watching Christmas films all year round, I do kind of think that it's that hybrid. We were saying that about storms, about rom-coms, about horror films, but Christmas, I think, intersects with people's lives in so many different ways, and we all need the miraculous, the supernatural to different degrees. So I think, you know, I've been asked this question for a few months. What do you think is like your favourite Christmas movie? I think it's, we like the surprise, we like the building up to that moment almost of like catharsis that will come in December. So no, in answer to your question, no, absolutely, let's go for it.
Well, as we've seen on social media, Mariah Carey has officially defrosted for the year. Chris, thank you very much. Great to have you as always.